Hi everybody, it's Nikki. I am back today with another part of my series of tips that hot girls don't want you to know. Today we're going to be talking about travel tips because a lot of people are going on vacation this summer, I assume. I'm going to be in Europe for all of July, which is so exciting. For the tips, we have 4 parts to this video. There's going to be flights, which is a big section, stays, packing, and at your destination, and like things that you need to know when you're already there. Before I hop into the video, I did want to mention that I have a jewelry brand. If some of you guys don't know yet, my Renaissance collection just launched recently, so be sure to check it out. Link in my description box. Novi is my baby. Novi is my, like, everything that I put my time into besides content creation, and I would appreciate any support. Also, I think by the time you're watching, I may have hit 1 million on YouTube, which is insane. Considering this was my very, very first platform, like social media platform ever. I started making videos in 2014, which was like years ago, ancient. Also, sorry if I'm a little stuffy. Woke up a little sick. If you hear the congestion, just, you know. Without further ado, let's get on to the very first part, talking about flights. So in my lifetime, I have taken a lot of flights. I travel a lot. I feel like I'm pretty well traveled to be sharing these tips with you. Firstly, if you're flexible with traveling, then you should travel during off season to especially destinations like Italy and anything in Europe that gets super busy in the summer. I'd say almost wait till like September or go a little earlier in May or June, because whenever it's very touristy, the prices rise for flights, and like even restaurants will purposely make their prices more expensive during tourist season. And yeah, you just want to stay away from like the tourist trap prices. So travel during off season if you can. Next, I'm going to share with you how to find the cheapest flights. Okay, there's 3 platforms that I like to use that I have found to be the best. The first one is Skyscanner, which I'm sure you've heard of. It basically takes the prices from like 40 sites and puts them all into Skyscanner and gives you the cheapest one that you could book with. There's also this option that it has that I really like, which is you choose from where you're departing from, and then you choose everywhere, like you're going to everywhere. So then it just shows you flights for different times of the year where it's cheapest to fly to. Sometimes there's going to be really, really great deals in like the middle of, I don't know, whatever month that you're not even going to expect. So definitely check out Skyscanner as your first go-to. Next is this website called Skiplaget, okay? It's kind of like what the name sounds like. It basically searches a lot of multi-city flights, like things with connections or layovers in between, and it tells you, okay, you're gonna book this flight, but you're not gonna hop on the full flight. You're just gonna hop off at the destination you're going to. I mean, try it out. If you're going to especially like exotic destinations or somewhere with small airports only, then this may be something worth looking into. And the last one is Flytrippers, which is similar to Skyscanner. I've only recently started using it. I don't know how good it is yet, but another one worth checking out because it again scans the cheapest flights from wherever you're going. So though you're going to have all of these options from Skyscanner, Skiplaget, whatever, make sure to actually book the flight that goes straight through the airline, okay? Sometimes the airline is going to offer a bit more of a pricier price, but I would just still recommend going through the airline no matter what, instead of like Expedia or GoToGate or all of those. Oh my god, the amount of times I've used GoToGate and like I wanted a refund on the flight, and you can't get in touch with the customer service on those websites. Through the airline is the best way, because say your bag gets lost, say your flight gets delayed, say you want to change your flight. It's always going to be easier to go through the airline's customer service because they're bound to actually do something and like help you rather than those third-party websites. So take that tip. It's a very important one. Also, if you didn't know yet, you are able to possibly get compensated for delayed flights, canceled flights, and lost baggage from airlines. And always go to the airline site and do your research in case any of those scenarios happen, because there's bound to be some compensation that they don't like tell you about, but it's gotta be there because that's the airline's responsibility. So one time I got compensated $300 for a delayed flight because it was delayed for more than like 4 hours. So there you go. Know which airline that you're flying with and know everything that comes with the airline and with the flight with that airline. For example, you want to check the bag policy beforehand, because sometimes it may look like the flight is very cheap, and then you have to add $100 worth of bags just to even take a backpack with you. So make sure that you're checking the bag policies beforehand and then compare those prices once you know how much a bag is going to cost, because you don't want to end up with a cheap flight that has no bags included, that you can't even take a backpack with you. I tend to stay away from like Flair and Spirit because the turbulence too is no bueno for me. I don't know why, but like smaller airplanes just tend to be a little more shaky. So also check reviews on airlines and ask around family members or friends which they like. Every country's gonna have different airlines, so I can't really say my favorites, but take your friends' advice for which airlines to fly with. When booking flights or concert tickets or anything for that matter, use incognito mode, okay? This will save you some money, I promise. I told this to a friend one day that I use incognito to book flights, and he tried to book a concert ticket the next day. Guess what? Saved him $100 just because he used incognito mode for the concert ticket. I think this is because they're able to overcharge you based on where you're booking from, because they see like the high demand. So if they see that booking from Toronto is much more expensive and like more in high demand than New York, for example, then they're gonna overcharge the Toronto people. This literally happened to me a week ago. I was so pissed. I looked at it from an incognito mode versus not, and the price difference was like $200. I was like, damn, guys. Okay. Who said? Who said? If you tend to travel a lot or you plan to in the future, I'd say sign up for all of those mileage programs that airlines offer. For example, Sky Miles, Aeroplan, things like that, because it's gonna accumulate points for you over time, and then in the future you'll be able to use those points to book flights for free. This is what a lot of people that travel a lot do. Also, a little side tip, I don't know if any of you fly Delta ever, but Delta does have free Wi-Fi as opposed to some other airlines. So if you like that on a plane, then go for Delta. Not spons. Book flights with a credit card instead of a debit card, okay? This is because your credit card may have really secret hidden little perks. For example, travel insurance, flight insurance, and lounges, which are great things to have. I know for mine, there's a travel insurance that's like 14 days for free whenever you step foot in another country. It gives you free travel insurance just because you have that credit card. I also have one with lounges, and like all over the world I can get into a lounge just because of that credit card. Also, maybe sometimes it's worth like diversifying your credit cards, because for example, Air Canada flights, I'll book it with an Aeroplan credit card, or you know, another flight you can book with this credit card, just because sometimes the credit cards are also associated with certain airlines, so you can get different perks based on which like credit card you have. And if you're asking if lounges are worth it or not, I think they are, okay? Sometimes, most of the time, you can't do a lounge like once you landed in a place. You can only do it before the flight. But, you know, for the free food, free drinks, just to chill with like better Wi-Fi, could be worth it. I don't know. To each their own. This next tip may only be for North America, but you should get mobile passport control, MPC. This is an app that you just download on your phone, and you get through customs way faster. You skip the entire line for customs with this one app. So yeah, get MPC and you'll get through customs faster. Highly recommend. This one, I don't know if I'm entirely right about, but in my experience, you shouldn't be the first one to check in to flights. My mom, my mom likes to sit there and wait for the exact check-in time. And she'll check in right on the dot, and she'll just like try and find a seat that works for her. But honestly, I think that because now you have to like pay for seating a lot of the time for flights, I think it's better to almost wait maybe a few hours before the flight. After everyone has checked in, then it actually gives you access to those paid seats for free. And it might even just like put you automatically into a much better seat. This has like worked half and half for me, so I wouldn't entirely trust this tip, but like check in always. Also, if you're not even checking in before your flight, what are you doing? You're saving so much time at the airport by checking in online first, so make sure you have that. Also, you can add your boarding pass to your Apple Pay, which is also really easy, or Apple Wallet. This next tip I love if you're ever traveling in a duo, okay? Whenever you get to the seat booking part, make sure you choose the aisle and the window and not the one in between, because listen, there's not gonna be that many people that want to choose a middle seat, so you're probably gonna end up having a free row to yourself in the end. Don't be afraid to ask for upgrades. You never know if they're just gonna upgrade you to exit row for free, or even sometimes first class. The first class hasn't really worked for me ever, but the exit row has, because I'm also 6'1", and like the legroom on flights is just not it. So I like to always just double check and see, hey, you know, be really nice to like obviously the flight attendants, and they'll like you better, so they're more likely to help you out. If you hate those headphones that the airlines give you because you cannot hear anything in them, use this little thing called an AirFly. You could order it from Amazon. It's this little tiny cord that goes into either your seat or into the TV on the plane, and you just connect your AirPods to it or your Bluetooth headphones, and you could hear what's coming through the plane TV in your headphones, in your own headphones. I'm not sure if like everyone knows this, and I just recently found this out, but sometimes the seats will have a headrest that can bend. So you can literally put that little, you know, headrest and bend it, and then like put your head to the side and like lean on it in case you don't want to lean on your neighbor necessarily. But yeah, the little headrest on the seats can sometimes bend. So also, if you're like a neck pillow girly, then you can get those neck pillows that are inflatable instead of the ones that like you have to carry around all the time, because I would not be a person to carry around a neck pillow on the rest of my travels, like other than the plane. So the inflatable ones are a great hack for that. If you're that person that likes curling up in a ball to sleep on planes, then you could use the seat belt to clip your legs in so that they don't constantly fall, and you could comfortably have your legs be supported while you're in a little ball position and you're trying to sleep. I found this out from TikTok, and my life's been better ever since. I don't know if this is just me, but don't use noise cancellation headphones on the plane, or like just don't turn the noise cancellation on a plane, because this can give you a really bad headache afterwards. I don't know what it is, but like in the air, if you're using noise cancellation and there's constant like, you know, plane sound like coming into your ears, it just hurts after a while. So wouldn't recommend. Always bring wet wipes with you, okay? You never know if you're gonna have to double clean the tray table, if like they didn't clean it well enough. Also, people just like have this great habit of like cleaning everything around them on planes, even the tray tables, just because they don't trust the people that clean them, which is very valid. Like, I should start doing that probably too. I mean, planes just have so many germs on them. It's really disgusting. But yeah, wet wipes are a great essential to airplanes. Also for the bathroom. I mean, what if they ran out of like paper? You never know. This is so big. Stay motherfucking hydrated, okay? Before all of your flights, drink a lot of water. Or if you don't want to constantly pee on a plane, bring those little electrolyte packets so that you could just like dump it into your water bottle, and it'll keep you like feeling more hydrated without necessarily drinking more liquid. But yeah, super important to drink your water, because planes just dry you out so fast. It's not good. Going along with hydration, you want to make sure that your skin is hydrated too. So always lather yourself in body lotion before going on an airplane. Do your skincare, like do the thick, rich creams and all of that, just to make sure that you have that extra layer of hydration on planes, because plane air is so dry. I cannot stress this enough. It's so dry, and it's so, especially on long flights. Oh my god, you don't want to feel like a raisin. And I know it's crazy and a little too girly pop, but I always bring a face mask on long flights. It just makes me feel so good. I mean, you're sitting there, minding your own business, headphones in, sleeping mask on, and your skin is hydrated. Yeah. Love face masks. If you're flying during daylight, make sure that you're wearing sunscreen, okay? This is because UV rays are much stronger and much more harmful at higher altitudes. So it may already be strong on the ground, but especially in the plane, you want to make sure that you're wearing that sunscreen, because plane windows don't even protect against that, I don't think. But yeah, make sure. Or just shut the plane window and you'll be fine. This is so basic, but download all of your movies, all of the YouTube videos, anything, ebooks, everything that you want to do on a plane. Make sure to download it beforehand. Set a reminder, okay? Don't do it in like the airport because the Wi-Fi sucks. So make sure you download everything like the day before your flight, and you'll be set for long flights. Also, I don't know if this is still a thing or not, but you can download YouTube videos and also TikToks. Like, there's something in TikTok where you could select like 30 TikToks or 50 TikToks and you could just scroll on them when you're offline. It's kind of weird, but like, maybe that's still a thing. I don't know. Search it up. Make sure to bring an eye mask with you on the plane, okay? You never know if they're going to randomly turn on the light in the middle of a flight and you're just trying to sleep. It's the worst feeling. So have an eye mask. I haven't personally done this, but I think I will. And it is to get compression socks for especially long flights, okay? Because our feet naturally swell after we're sitting for so long, and you don't want to get off the flight and your feet are just like 3 sizes bigger, okay? So get compression socks, good investment. And this last one for flights is for Apple users. I don't know if this works on Android, to be honest, but if you text someone your flight number, then they're instantly able to click preview flight and they could see everything about your flight. I mean, the departure and arrival times, the terminals, if it's been delayed or not. Like, you don't have to keep texting them what's up with your flight. They could just check and know. All right, moving on to part 2, which is stays. Always check between Airbnbs and hotels to see which one's cheaper, okay? Sometimes hotels will be cheaper, sometimes Airbnbs will be cheaper. So you never know. For different locations, it's different, and different times of the year too, it differs. I also like to look at if they're refundable or not. For Airbnbs mostly, they'll be refundable up until like 48 hours before your actual stay, which is a really good thing in case your plans ever change or you just want to switch locations or something. So book refundable Airbnbs. Always map out how far your stay is from the things that you want to do on your trip, okay? Sometimes your stay can be very, very far from the airport or from the train station or even, you know, the bus station, subway, whatever. Just make sure that you find stays in good areas, and also search up which areas are like sketchy beforehand so that you don't end up getting a very cheap Airbnb in a sketchy area. So you never know where you're going, and you just want to make sure that you're always safe wherever you're staying. Hear me out for this next one, okay? Always check for bed bugs. I once had a not so pretty experience after coming home from a hostel. I came home, I found out that I had bed bugs because I woke up with bed bug bites, and you'll know that it's bed bugs if you have a line of bites, because they'll be like on a path, you know, going in a line and all. But yeah, bed bugs are one of the worst things that you could possibly get. I've heard sand flies are really bad too, so make sure you are not in like any sketchy sand areas. But the way to check for bed bugs, I'm just gonna explain this to you. I mean, we're on this topic already. The way to check for bed bugs, I'm never gonna do it myself. I'm always gonna get a friend or whoever I'm traveling with to do it. You could also maybe ask the front desk. Just putting that out there. It's better to check than not to. Check the mattress folds and all of that. And also check if it's a bed frame made of like fabric. Check all of those folds as well, because you'll see little black dots if it's bed bugs. They're very, very tiny, hard to spot, but you'll know. Trust me, you'll know. If you're ever staying in hostels, make sure to lock up your things, because guess what? In that same hostel, I had a terrible experience. This girl was staying on the bunk below me. She ended up being a thief. A thief. She didn't steal anything from me because I think I was nice to her, but I had my laptop out in the open. I mean, I left my camera too, just out in the open, and she didn't take it. However, she did steal like 2 passports. What else? 2 passports, a suitcase full of really expensive like designer things that people had. And all hostels should have lockers. Make sure to also check if they have lockers or not, but like they should. And pay that extra $5-10 for the locker and lock up your things, because you never know with these people, okay? There's gonna be a lot of random people in hostels, people from all over, maybe even with fake identities like this girl. But you wanna make sure that your stuff is safe. And lastly, for any kind of stay, read reviews. Please read the damn reviews. Sometimes there are gonna be like those Karens from time to time, but mostly I trust people with their reviews, and people will write like the honest truths about places. So no matter how good a place can look, the reviews will always tell if it actually is that good. I will also particularly never stay at a place that has no reviews, because if nobody's ever stayed there, then why would I stay there? I'm not trying to be the guinea pig here, okay? So make sure to read the reviews. And the last tip is specifically for Airbnbs, okay? Make sure to take down the host's phone numbers afterwards, because you never know if you're gonna be traveling again and that host may have a different Airbnb in a different location. Or you just want to rebook the same Airbnb without the Airbnb fees. Sometimes these Airbnb hosts, when you reach out to them and say like, hey, I stayed in your Airbnb a few months ago, do you remember me? I'm coming back here again, and I wanted to know if you would do a discounted rate because you already know me, I've stayed there before, and most of the time you're going to save money this way because they've already met you and they might have another stay for you or whatever else. Part 3, moving on to packing. Get those packing bags from Amazon, because then you can sort your tops into one bag, your bottoms into another bag, and it is so much easier to put that all into a suitcase rather than having one big pocket of things that just gets disorganized really quickly. Also, if you're going on like a shorter 4 or 5 day trip, pack each outfit into a separate bag, and that way it's also so much easier than going through all the tops and the bottoms. You just have an outfit ready to go in each bag and you're set. Vacuum the air out of your bags, okay? This is a weird tip, but like just take a vacuum cleaner and suck all the air out and you'll have a lot of excess airspace gone. I highly, highly, highly recommend getting those little travel bottles for your liquids, because liquids take up so much space, and also liquid bottles, like all of those creams, take up a lot of weight too. Like, for some reason, why are moisturizers so big sometimes? I mean, you just need, a certain amount, so just scoop it up, take it into a little travel container, and you'll be set. This is for overpackers like me, but you don't need as much as you think you're gonna need, okay? Do not overpack. It's, of course, nice to be prepared and stuff, but for like creams, like just, do a little mental check of how much cream you've actually used in the past 30 days and see how much you'll need for 7 days and you'll be fine. Don't forget your power banks and power adapters, okay? On long travel days where you're walking around town, you will need a power bank, I guarantee. Just get one. Just get like a little portable one for your purse too, just in case. You never want to run out of battery in a foreign country and be stuck. Hide your valuables in diaper bags, okay? No one's ever gonna reach for a diaper bag. I saw this and I should probably do this more, but any camera equipment, anything like really expensive, just put it in a diaper bag and it'll be safer that way. Thread your necklaces through straws to avoid tangling. This is a great tip. I should do this more often because my necklaces always get tangled, and I have a jewelry brand. I mean, you can't tangle your own freaking necklaces. So yeah, straws for necklaces work great. Most people should know this already, but roll your clothes instead of folding them. It just takes up so much less space. It also keeps the wrinkles out. That's a big one. Bring a steamer for your clothes, okay? This is such a good investment in my opinion. I think having nice steamed clothes can like make or break an outfit. Get a little mini steamer and bring it with you if you're going to like nice places and dressing in nice clothes, because if your clothes are wrinkled, it may just like break the entire outfit, honestly. So yeah, get a little steamer. Always, of course, bring a dirty laundry bag. I mean, this is pretty self-explanatory. Whenever you're packing purses or shoes, fill up the purses and shoes with other little items like socks or, skincare bottles, whatever, because purses and shoes have a lot of empty air inside and like space that you could fit your stuff in. Take an empty water bottle with you to the airport so that you don't have to buy overpriced water at the airport, because they'll always, make you pour out all the liquids. So take a empty water bottle with you. Make sure that you're always taping up your little travel bottles, just because you never know if something's gonna leak. I've had so many unnecessary leaks in the past, and you also want to make sure that you're putting those travel bottles into a little like toiletry bag that also doesn't spill easily, because I don't know, cream getting on your pants is like the worst, or especially perfume. Ugh. Make sure that never breaks or spills. Oh, this next one was literally just a learn from my mistakes kind of thing. Don't put your laptop in your carry-on suitcase. I did this once with my old laptop and it bent. Like, it bent my fucking laptop. So sad. Pack a little microfiber towel because you never know if the place you're staying at is gonna have beach towels, for example. And you know, you could always buy a towel there, but I think it's just easier to have like a little extra towel with you just in case. Don't forget a medicine / a first aid kit. This is also very basic info, but like most people just forget to bring any kind of medicine. Make sure that you're also bringing things from home that you may not easily come across in like different countries. For example, I've heard that tampons in Europe don't have like the applicator on them most of the time. So I would prefer to just bring like a couple extra tampons, you know, on my trip, not even knowing if you'll get it or not then, but just, yeah, better to be safe than sorry, you know, and like always be prepared. And the last section before I fall asleep right here and there because I'm so sick is part 4, when you're actually at the destination. First tip, don't drink tap water unless you specifically ask the locals and the internet if you can, if it's safe. Always ask locals or hotel staff or anyone in the actual country of where you're traveling to if you can drink the tap water, because you always want to be better safe than sorry. I mean, don't get yourself involved into something that can be so easily avoided. Also, most of the time, tap water in different countries other than North America is like not safe or good for you. So just make sure that you're always, you know, knowing that and remembering that because I'm so used to drinking tap water at home that like whenever I travel, I kind of naturally forget. If you're one to rent cars, then use Turo instead of any other platforms because Turo is the one that's kind of like Uber, like people rent their cars out rather than like an official company renting their cars out, and it's just much cheaper and like easier to rent on there. Also, I don't know if you know this, but car companies will charge you more if you're under 25. So if you have an older friend that you're traveling with or a parent or, you know, anyone older, book the car under their name so that it's also kind of cheaper. And they're probably going to be the one to be driving it, but still, just better that way. This is a big one for me. I am so furious at this one. I had to pay so much money for my freaking phone bill last month because I didn't turn my roaming data off when I traveled. So learn from my mistakes and turn your roaming data off from your home plan, and do not use your home plan in foreign countries. This is because it's going to charge you $12 to $15 per day when you can easily get a $12 SIM card for an entire month, whether locally or as an eSIM. For eSIMs, I recommend AirAllo. You don't have to take anything out of your phone. It's so easy. Get AirAllo. It's something that I've been using for like so long. I really want to work with them too, but if you see this, work with me. But yeah, eSIMs are great for that if you're just looking to have data and like Wi-Fi wherever you're traveling to. Remember to not exchange money at the airport because airports, they overcharge you. And sometimes it may be even cheaper to exchange money at like a local ATM wherever you are, or order the currency beforehand, because you can also do that. You could order currency from your bank, like exchange currency, that will literally arrive in like a little envelope to your house. And also going along with that, always bring your debit card on your trips, because I messed up. My last trip, I didn't bring my debit card. I only brought credit cards, and I got used to Apple Pay everywhere. So I had to pay a much bigger fee to exchange money with my credit card rather than debit card. So don't mess up like me. If you're traveling solo, don't tell people that you're traveling solo. This is for safety reasons. You never want anyone to be able to like know that you're by yourself, because it's just making you an easier target. It's sad to say, but that's how our world is. So whether you're saying like, oh, my family's here with me and I'm just, you know, at the beach by myself for like these 2 hours, but say that you have someone around and that you're traveling with like friends or something rather than solo. In Europe, if you're going to be taking the train between a lot of destinations, which is probably the smarter thing to do rather than flying, if you're going from like different parts of Italy to, you know, north to south, and you're using the train, get a train pass. This is called an Interrail pass. It'll probably be cheaper than like buying a ton of train tickets, and you could just use this pass and go wherever. Before you ever get in a taxi, make sure that you agree on a price with the taxi driver and try to negotiate, okay? They're always gonna have to upcharge you because that's just how they are in foreign countries. So make sure that you're being smart and not falling into their tourist trap money. So I've gotten better with like practice, honestly, with negotiating, because I used to be so scared of it, especially with strangers. But just like, you know, do your best. This next tip, make sure to check bus and train times, because if you're ever out late and the last bus comes at like 11 to take you to your hotel, you don't want to be stuck in the middle of nowhere after your night out, okay? This happened to me once in the south of Italy with my friends, where the only mode of transportation besides having a car or a Vespa was the bus. So we didn't check when the last bus came, and it was at like 9 p.m. that day, and we had ended dinner at like 10 or like 9:30, and we had to hitchhike back to our hotel, back to our Airbnb. So make sure that you're always checking when the latest time the bus or train will come. And with hitchhiking, be a little careful. I wouldn't recommend it. I'm actually not going to recommend it. You know, be safe, stay safe out there. Know at least a few sentences of the language where you're going to, because in places like south of Italy, they don't speak English. They really don't. Like, only a few people will, but you want to make sure to know at least a little bit so you can get around, or make sure that Google Translate is easily accessible and also downloaded onto your phone, because if you didn't know, you can like download a language so that whenever you don't have Wi-Fi or service or whatever, you can just translate into that language because it'll already be downloaded. Never carry all of your cash with you at once. Okay, have some split up in different spots, like some in your backpack, some in your purse, some at the hotel, some in your luggage. Just have it all split up so that if anyone, knock on wood, were to rob you, you won't have all of your cash on you that they just take all at once. You'll have some backup here and there just in case. Also, never keep cash or phones or anything in your back pocket. Phones especially. I mean, it's such like a habit to put it in your back pocket, but wherever you are, there's thieves and they may snatch it up, and especially at clubs, whenever it gets crowded, make sure you also never go to like a club wearing expensive things, because clubs get crowded, and I've heard way too many Barcelona specifically stories where people will just steal other people's belongings and you don't even know who stole them, because you turn around and the person's gone because it's so crowded and you're never going to be able to catch them. Do not fall for scams. This should be basic, but I know some people don't like travel as much and may fall for a scam a little easier because they're getting really good at them, honestly. So if someone gives you a parrot and you're like, oh, a parrot, like, let me hold this parrot, they're going to want money. Okay? They're going to definitely want money from you. So never fall for like even taking a photo while you're passing by this person that's holding a parrot. Like, don't take a photo of the parrot, because whatever photos you're taking or whatever, you know, yeah, it's mostly photos, they're gonna charge, and you don't want to just have like a street argument with a guy holding a parrot in the middle of France. Search beforehand if there's any tourist attractions that are on sale, like discounted or even free for some days of the week. A lot of places in like New York will do this, where the Met will be like free on Tuesdays or something. So yeah, make sure that you search up those tourist attractions and all of those like special, even like student discounts and things like that, because there could be really great discounts available. And of course, depending on when you go, a lot of places may be booked up already. So make sure that you have your very popular attractions booked way beforehand, way more in advance than you may think. I went to this one place in Tokyo that was like a light exhibit, or just a very cool like art exhibit thing, and we had to book it 2 or 3 weeks in advance just to like make sure that we really got a spot. Well, that concludes my video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope at least one of these tips helped you. If it did, please comment, like, share, subscribe, I don't know, whatever you want to do. Stick around. I'm gonna have many more of these series coming out, and also some travel vlogs that you could look out for. So I'm so excited to be back on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for watching and supporting, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye.